Hello everyone and welcome to a small review of the Mode 2 Ghost V1 frame that I bought a while ago, back in probably April, and I built up using some parts from Raceflight, T-Motor, Runcam, and just generally was going for compatibility for 6S. Now, I'm not going to deny the fact that it's a great frame for a V1. Because it was really lightweight. I think it came in at like 55 grams or something ridiculously light, and it also had a very nice sort of modular, tight look to it. There was obviously space for upgrading to a 20x20 stack. I chose to go for the 30mm stack simply because I didn't have enough experience with the 20x20s. There's a couple of modifications I made to this frame to make everything fit, because I decided to have this guy at the back to hold the antenna in. Unfortunately, it made it so that the propellers would foul on the edge of the antenna there. You can see there's some abrasion, so I had to manufacture some carbon spacers, which I then put underneath the rear motors. They didn't really add any weight. They were just an inconvenience to the machine because I didn't have the right tools to do it. So I'm not sure if the camera can sort of show you there, but there's a bit of a ledge, but yeah, not bad. I'm not going to complain. The frame itself is tough. I've crashed it a few times. The reliability is there. It's a well thought out and designed frame. There's a few things that I didn't like about the V1 that I sort of forced me to change components around. I actually purchased the V2 arms, which are a one-piece boomerang sort of arm, as you can see here. They arrived in July, so I upgraded the V1 goes to the V2 version of the arms, because the V1 arms are they come in 4 separate pieces, so you've got 4 arms essentially, which there's no debating that they're strong, because like I said, I put them through quite a few crashes and they seem to put up with the abuse, but I just preferred the look and feel of the V2 arms. Mainly what I mean by feel is the fact that the bolts or the nuts here are recessed into the arm. Don't know if you can see, so it makes for a very smooth sort of look and finish, and also it means that you can lower the camera further down without fouling the bolts and potentially causing some shorts. The frame is a very, very tight build, so expect to have to plan and measure and use spacers like I have here, unless you have a really neat, tidy ESC or generally the electronic setup, because I had to spend quite a considerable amount of time trying to route the wires in a way which meant it was all sort of getting enough air to keep cool for starters, and B, it wasn't going to foul on the bottom side of the arm here with the XT60. So I'd say, seeing as the V2 version of the frame is out, which is 0.5 of a centimetre longer, and it also has steel hardware as opposed to titanium, which makes it a little tiny bit heavier, but it comes with a accessory kit. I think you're probably better off going for the V2, only because you'd save yourself a lot of hassle trying to build like fit the components in, unless you're using 20x20, in which case whatever, use the V1 and you can combine the V1 and the V2 arms to achieve this kind of flat look here. That's kind of why I bought the V2 and mounted them onto the V1 frame. I just preferred how it worked, and also it meant that I didn't have to run 3 spacers in the stack here to have enough space between the bolts which bolt the arms on and the XT60. So in fact, I'm not actually running any bolts in the middle here because I don't need them. So it basically replaces the need for a actual nut which stands out from the top of the arm. It just basically means that everything's neat and tidy, and you can sort of tuck the wires out of the way a bit easier if you have to go that route, and there's not going to be any fouling. So Yeah, I think it's a great frame. There were shortcomings in its design, but actually they've been fixed with the V2. In terms of strength, it's great. It's extremely stiff, as you can see here. Rest assured, it's a strong frame, it's light, it's competitive, and you're going to enjoy building it. And I think it's well worth the money and the wait to get the V2, because as far as I know, both the V1 and the V2s have been selling out quick. So get yourself one of these whilst you can, and go out there and have some fun with it. That's it really. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you want to like, subscribe, share the video, and engage with me in conversation, it'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you, and fly safe.